and he worked with us for about 6 years. And he was one of those, he was a good worker when he wanted to be a good worker, and he had a lot of relational equity with some of the people he was leading. He was a supervisor of landscape crews. And all of a sudden, I mean, not all of a sudden, it kind of happened incrementally over time. He just sort of stopped being as productive. He kind of warned him, like, hey, listen, you have to do these things. And he continually did not do it. So he knew that he was going to get fired. So at this point in time, I intervened. I called him into the office, and he now knows, like, I'm sure I'm going to get fired. So I can see him on GPS because he has a company truck. And I asked him to come into the office. But instead of coming into the office, he drives to his house and he unloads his truck. And at the whole time, I'm like, what the heck? Like, he's in my company truck, my company cell phone, my equipment in his truck. And he's at his house now when I asked him to come to the office. So he's clearly insubordinate. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm borderline ready to call the police because of his actions. So he comes into the office, and meanwhile, we're over prepared. Like, I have a security guard there. I'm there with my HR guy. My dad's sort of on alert, and everybody knows this guy's coming, and everybody knows he's going to get fired. And so he drives onto the loading dock, skirt, like he zooms up on this thing, and he's blaring music with his windows down. And I'm like, oh my God, what is this guy doing? And what is he gonna do? I have no idea what's gonna happen. So he gets out of his car, puts it in park. He opens the door, keeps the door open, like comes into the office with a full head of steam and sits down and goes, what? He goes, what? What are we doing? What are you gonna do? And I'm like, whoa, you know, settle down, buddy.
Yeah.
Sit down. And he just had so much, he was so in the wrong, and he further demonstrated just how much he needed to get fired. Meaning, at this point in time, I'm like so happy I finally come to the conclusion to fire this guy, because what if he's doing this kind of behavior? Like, what else is this guy doing? So I tell you that story because there are good times where we can help him out, we can coach him, and there are times where the people that we fail them, and I say we fail them because it's my fault that he digressed, and unfortunately I needed to let him go. So those conversations are difficult to have. Those conversations are not easy, but those conversations are needed to have. And the best thing we can do in situations like that is make a plan. Like, we can plan on when we're going to do it, how we're going to do it, what it's going to look like, and we can control all of those variables, like the security guard and the HR guy that's ready, and calling them and asking them to come to the office, tracking them on GPS. But what we cannot control is how they behave in those situations. And we have to be prepared for that kind of behavior.